How you guys doing today? It is me again, your favorite Texas trucker, and I am in Jackson, Mississippi. Just delivered a load, maybe a half hour ago, give or take, somewhere right around up in there. No, I guess it was about an hour ago. Time's really flown by. Anyway, I got unloaded at like 7:37, I think is when it was. Then this truck stop that I'm at right now, which, you know, honestly it's not much of a truck stop, but it's a place to park and wait, was pretty much directly across the street, you know, across the street, down a couple hundred yards. And you know, so I came here to wait for my next load. Anyway, this is where I'm at. Excuse the windshield, that's all from this morning. I did clean my windshield before I left this morning. Not much, as you can see, you know. It's really just a place to park and sit and wait for the load. Wasn't really in a big hurry for a load this morning, even though I do definitely want to get on the road again. See, I got a light on back there. I'll have to get back here and turn that off. But I just got back out on the road yesterday from being at home, and I needed to do some straightening up in here. And so I needed a little bit of time. Kind of give you an update on what's been going on. More trials, tribulations in the trucking world. And I kind of want to throw something at you guys that are thinking about getting out here and becoming an owner-operator. Alright? I guess maybe a bit of a hard reality check, you know. Ever since I bought this truck, the leveling valve has been bad on it. Now, I don't know if the leveling valve was bad. I checked it, and I don't think it was bad when I bought the truck. But within weeks after getting it, the leveling valve went out, and I didn't replace it. And the reason that I didn't replace it, honestly, was because I've had so many other repairs that were a lot more important. And I just couldn't afford to do it. I mean, it's not that much money, honestly. I mean, but it's just repair after repair after repair, and I was prioritizing and getting the immediate stuff that had to be done. And you know, when I first found it, it got put on my list. I wanted to get it done, and then, you know, something would break and I'd have to get it done. And, you know, then I needed to keep a little bit of money back, and I kept putting it off, and I kept putting it off. Well, I got the last stuff fixed on the truck, and I had got the truck to the point where I felt like I could really just start working on things that I knew needed to be done, but I hadn't gotten around to yet. And so we were delivering a week or so ago, a couple weeks ago, we were delivering, I say we because my son was out here with me, Andrew. We were delivering a load of flooring, and you know, the address that they gave me was a hotel, and I ain't never delivered to no freaking hotel. It was a construction site, you know, and so I went on past it. Well, the road dead-ended, but where it dead-ended at was Kenworth dealer, so, you know, I was like, shit, I need some parts anyway, so I went into Kenworth. Well, the leveling valve was bad, and then I had a pressure control check valve on my primary air tank go out, and it was leaking pretty damn bad. Bad enough that my air compressor was maintaining pressure, but I would have been put out of service on a DOT violation had I been pulled in and inspected. So I went in to get the pressure control relief valve. Figured it was going to be a fairly simple repair. If I had time, I'd get it done. At least I'd have the parts no matter what happened. I got the leveling valve, but they didn't have the pressure control relief valve. So I also got a filter for my air dryer. Alright, and I had the time that day to replace the filter on the air dryer, and I took care of that. I don't remember what it cost, 30 something bucks, I think. The leveling valve was probably about $60, somewhere in that area. But I didn't have the pressure control relief valve, and that's the one that I really needed to replace, and I didn't want to mess with the leveling valve until I was at a place where I knew that I could concentrate on it, and if something went wrong, I wouldn't be stuck. And it's a good thing that I made that decision. The next week I took Andrew home. I got home, which was this last weekend, and I decided at that point that I was going to get the pressure control relief valve. I thought maybe I could go down to Napa and they'd have it, and then I just replaced both of them at the same time. So I was having a problem getting the part because I didn't have a part number. Kenworth couldn't find the part number. They couldn't find the part. They didn't really know what I was talking about. So when I got home, I parked the truck, I disconnected it from the trailer, and I removed the pressure control relief valve. At the same time, I decided to replace the leveling valve. Replacing the leveling valve went good to a point. There's a bar that comes off of the differential on my truck. On some trucks it's another part of the vehicle, but on mine it's connected to the differential. And that bar goes up and connects to the to the leveling valve, so that when it is at the height, the proper height, and it's leveled out, then it shuts off. Well, that bar on my truck was a flat bar with a loop on both ends, and inside the loop is a grommet. Alright, and of course the grommet's got a hole through it so that you can put a bolt in there and you can bolt it on. Well, when I went to take it apart, one of the grommets, the top grommet that connects to the leveling valve, disintegrated, fell apart, fell out, and couldn't piece it back together. I mean, it was trashed. So I needed to go to Napa anyway to get the pressure control relief valve. So I took the relief valve and I took that bar up to Napa. They didn't have either part. So I went to Kenworth in Fort Worth. Kenworth didn't have the part. They were wanting to charge me $121 for the valve. It was going to take a week to get it there, and they were wanting to charge me $68 for shipping. I figured I could find something better. So I got the bar. Well, they didn't have the bar in stock. They had this generic bar that was just a long fucking rod with two rubber ends with holes in them, and you have to cut the rod to length. And so I asked them to cut it down, and they didn't have anything to cut it down with, or wouldn't admit to having anything to cut it down with. And in short, they weren't going to cut it down. Why has everything got to be so fucking difficult, man? You know? So we called around. Freightliner didn't have the part. Peterbilt didn't have the part. I went ahead and I went home, and the next morning I went down to Napa with the part in hand, and they didn't have the part, and so I, which they'd already told me they didn't have the part, but I was seeing how long it was going to take them to get the part. They said it'd take about 7 to 9 days. Anyway, I had them cut down the rod for me, and then I got that part of the truck fixed. Okay, from there I went home. I checked out Truck Pro. Truck Pro didn't have the part. I checked out Fleet Pride. Fleet Pride didn't have the part. Called International. International had one valve in stock, exact valve. It was 57 and some change. I think it came out to $62, $63 with tax. Saved me roughly $100 off of what Kenworth was wanting to charge me. So I drove all the way down there to Fort Worth. I got that and put it on, and that's where all my problems started. Yeah, and you're thinking, I've already had quite a few problems. If you're not thinking that, I was. But this is where it started. All right, because all these systems are interconnected. Okay, the pressure relief valve goes to the airbags. All right, the lines that go to the airbags go to the leveling valve. Well, my leveling valve was bad. All right, and so was my pressure relief valve. Both those both those valves going to the same system were both bad. So because both those were bad and they were both leaking, it did not reveal the fact that my purge valve was also bad, because my purge valve wasn't pressuring up all the way. All right. So when I replaced the pressure control relief valve, and I power the system up because I'd already fixed the leveling valve. I put the bar on the leveling valve, and I powered everything up and started to fill the air up. It blew my purge valve. And so my purge valve was bad. Now I had to go back and get another purge valve. It was $70-something and took me over 4 hours to get out. I broke a pair of snap ring pliers. I went and bought another pair. That pair that I bought were no good. You know, I mean no good. I mean, I absolutely did not work at all. They were a piece of shit. So, I got mad. I had to go inside with a pair of needle nose pliers. I got a grinder. I used the grinder to make a pair of snap ring pliers that I could use to get this freaking snap ring out. And about 4 hours later, I finally get the valve apart so that I can put it all back together and put it back in. Alright, so I get it all put back in. Now my truck is running okay. Problem is, it took me a whole extra day of work searching out these parts, trying to find the parts, to get the parts. Alright, and so I lost a day at work. Now, let's back up a little bit. When I was coming home, the night before I was coming home, I laid down here in the bed and I heard a snap or a pop. Alright, and it sounded like an electrical pop. I went and I looked and I couldn't find anything wrong. Everything seemed to be working, so everything was good. The next morning, as we're driving home, my son gets into the cooler and he's like, "Hey, we got a problem." Well, apparently the cooler went out. Alright, and that pop, I guess, was something going out in the plug. Alright, the problem was whoever designed this Coleman cooler is a freaking idiot. The plug on the Coleman cooler is a sealed plug. It's got a fuse inside of it, but you can't get to the damn fuse to change the fuse out because it's a sealed damn plug. So you have to destroy the plug to get the fuse out, which means that the plug's no longer any good. So now I've got a Coleman cooler. Everything in the Coleman cooler went bad. Kind of ashamed to say that I'm so busy that everything is still in the Coleman cooler. I haven't dumped it out yet. It's still here in the truck and it doesn't work, which left me no fucking way at all to get any food, keep any food in the truck. So, you know, we've been stressing trying to get me a refrigerator for the truck because the Coleman cooler just wasn't really cutting it anyway. I mean, it does good when it's cold outside, but, you know, it only keeps things like 36 degrees colder than the surrounding temperature. So if it's, you know, 100 degrees outside, my air conditioner's not working that well, so it'd be 85 degrees in here. Well, hell, it's 50 something in my cooler. You can't keep anything like that. You know, it keeps drinks cool. That's about it, you know. And during the wintertime, it works great, but during the summertime, it ain't worth a shit. So, you know, we've been stressing trying to find a refrigerator, and, you know, I like things to be neat and orderly, you know, and my life is not very neat and orderly at the moment. So, you know, I couldn't find anything. Finally, you know, the wife was like, you know, "Hey, man, let's just, you know, work something out with one of them refrigerators from Walmart." I've had a couple other drivers tell me that's what they use and that it's done a really good job, you know, and so I was like, fuck it, what the hell, man, I'm going to go ahead and break down and do it and figure something out. So what I did was I had to rig up a shelf, modify the interior of the cab. After I got the boy out, I put the bunk up. You know, problem now is that bunk ain't coming back down, so, you know, next time he comes out, I either got to buy a new truck or take all this shit out of here, one or the other. But anyway, I modified the truck, you know, and I put my refrigerator back. I mean, I put my television back in here. And so I just kind of wanted to show you all what I did, because I've had a couple people ask about it, so I told you all I'd show you what I did. And we're just going to give you a look at the inside of the cab. Now, give me a break. It's not clean, okay? I didn't have any time to clean the truck when I got home this weekend. I've been, you know, working on the truck the entire time. I came back out last night. You know, it's as neat and as clean as it's going to get right now, and I'll worry about that later. Alright, so first we'll start up here in the front. Alright, so this is the front. Logbook up on the top, my Kenworth hat, Galaxy radio, the Garmin diesel, GPS. People have been asking me what GPS I use. XM radio. I keep a clock on my dash set for Central Time. You notice there's a hole in the dash. I don't know what gauge used to be there. I'll replace it. We are parked. Take note that I am parked. Also take note that my truck thinks it's running at about 10 miles an hour, give or take, 8 to 10 miles an hour. Still haven't got that issue dealt with. Don't know if I ever will. Alright, I did replace the dash panel for the air conditioning vent, which did help actually, because the old air conditioning vent wouldn't allow this to go up to the high setting. So it's now up on the high setting and it does work a little better, and it sure looks a hell of a lot better. Alright, I still need to replace some of these plates. These plates right here all scratched up, beat up, and you can't read any of them. This is my differential lock. This is my airbags. This is my fifth wheel slider lock. Alright, and so anyway, we replaced all that. Clean clothes that I haven't gone through yet, dirty clothes that need to be washed, my shower bag. And nobody sits up here in the passenger seat, so that's where that shit sits. Alright, let's come back here to the back and let's look. Alright, down here we've got trash. Again, I told you my shit's not clean, so don't get on me about having trash on my floor. I'll pick it up when I get around to it. Down here I got a tub down here that's got food in it, canned goods mostly. Water in this one over here. That's a jug of water that I use to cook with. It's beat to hell. It's leaking. I need to get it out of my fucking truck. Alright, bunk area. We'll start up here. This is part of shit I haven't gone through yet. It's just shit that's piled up here. I'll go through it, clean it up. Some of the cleaning supplies. This is all food, paper plates. Oh my god, shut up. Alright. Stuff for, you know, storage. My inverter is down here. Trash can. Alright. I keep various items in this seat back thing, whatever you call it. Alright, and then over here, you got my laptop. These are all my receipts and all my paperwork for repairs. I got some movies up in here. And my laptop, it's dirty, it needs to be wiped down. This is connected by HDMI cable to my television. Can you see the television? Yeah, I guess you can see the television. Turn this damn light out over here because I think this is creating a huge glare. Alright, so we have the television. Alright. Most of this is all cooking stuff, silverware. My hard drive, I got an external hard drive in here. Let's get in here and see if we can see it. Yeah, anyway, that blue thing back there, it's an external hard drive. There's about 1,000 so movies on there. Back over in here, you'll see my Xbox. It's wedged up in there pretty good. It ain't going nowhere. It's also connected to an HDMI cable. And then we have the shelf that I built for my refrigerator, okay? And that's what I was talking about. So my feet fit comfortably underneath there. There's plenty of room for me underneath there, and there's room down there at the end of the bunk for me to store a few things if I need to store a few things. I do have a memory foam mattress, 4-inch memory foam mattress on top of my bunk. This is what I sleep on, so it's a hell of a lot more comfortable. Refrigerator is sufficient. I don't have a whole hell of a lot in there right now. You know, I live off Munsters. Got some chocolate milk, iced tea, another tea up there. There's another Munster up underneath there. Butter, salads from Subway. I'm fixing to eat one of them here in a minute. Some vegetables, and there's some meat up there in the freezer. But you know, I mean, like, I haven't had a whole lot of time to do any shopping or gather up any of the stuff that I need. So that's what I got. All right, and that's how it's working. It works for me. And it's gonna have to work for me because, you know, it's just the way it is. Up there, there's a memory foam. I usually keep it down at the end of the bunk, but I pulled it out. I'm gonna throw it away. I'll probably take it home because I'm a pack rat. I figure I can do something with it at home. Alright, so that's the deal. I don't have a whole lot of time left coming up on this video, but I do want to give y'all, guys that are thinking about coming out here and becoming an owner-operator a bit of a reality check. All right. And I'm going to try to do it fairly quick. You can make good money out here, okay? And if you're tough enough, and if you are able to deal with the things that we come across out here that you don't have to deal with as a company driver, then by all means, go for it. I'm not trying to talk you out of it. All right, but what I am going to tell you very clearly is that you're not going to make as much money as you think, okay? Matter of fact, you might make less money than what you make as a company driver. The satisfaction of being your own boss, of being an owner-operator, and being in control of your own destiny is huge, okay? And there's potential, like I said, to make a lot of money in the long term. But in the short term, you're going to take a hell of a beating. I won't own a new truck, all right? I won't own it. I won't own a DEF, diesel exhaust fluid using truck, because they have so many problems, and the problems are so expensive to fix that there's no way for you to break even. There's no way for you to do good. And when the warranty on the truck runs out, you're solely responsible for those repairs. Sooner or later, it's not a matter of whether or not it's going to break. It's not a matter of whether or not you're going to have the problem. It's just a simple matter of when it's going to happen. All right, and when it happens, those repairs can cost thousands and thousands of dollars. The trucks themselves are so expensive. I got to replace that or fix that rubber seal. But anyway, the trucks themselves are so expensive. You're never going to own the truck. You know, when the warranty's out on it, you know, the smartest thing to do is to get rid of the fucking thing and get another truck. So I won't own one because I do want to own my truck. All right, so you go with an older truck, something before 2007, before they came out with the DEF system on the trucks. All right, you pick up the truck then, but the problem is that you're picking up a truck that's got problems. Unless you buy the truck from a dealer, you know, like say Kenworth or Peterbilt or something like that, you know, you're not going to have a warranty on the truck. You're buying the truck as is. All right. And that means that you're picking up somebody else's problems. All right. Now, if you pick it up from Kenworth, Peterbilt, Freightliner, Mack, you know, whatever, then you might be able to get a warranty on the truck, but you're going to pay twice what you'd pay anywhere else because they've gone in it and they've done a bunch of work to it. We know which, hell, there's an advantage to that, without a doubt. But I didn't have that kind of money, and I don't have that kind of credit. So I had to go buy a used truck from a used car lot, bought it as is, and the price was decent on the truck. You know, I mean, I paid $17,500 for the truck. And in the last 4 months, since I've been out here, I've put $12,000 in repairs in the truck. So I'm out about $29,500, roughly $30,000 on this truck. And you know, and I'm doing okay. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's okay, but it's frustrating. Extremely, extremely frustrating. You know, it's like every time I turn around, I'm putting more money into my truck. Every time I turn around, I'm doing another repair. And I've had to do those repairs myself. I would have paid, you know, probably $20,000 in repairs if I hadn't have done all the repair work myself. I've had shops do a few things here and there, but for the most part, I've been my own mechanic. And I don't know anything about being a mechanic. I'm learning this stuff as I go along. I see something that goes wrong, I Google it, I figure out how to fix it, I get onto operator maintenance page on Facebook. I've got friends that are owner-operators that have been here and done that. They walk me through it. I got a friend who's a mechanic who's probably getting tired of me calling him all the time, you know. But I've had to do this myself. Get underneath the truck, get dirty, get greasy, get sore, get hurt. You know, the money's coming out of my pocket. You know, I've spent everything. Everything I've made, I've spent, you know, and I've made good money. I mean, I've done good out here, but I've spent it all. And it's beating me up, man. I'm not going to lie to you. You know, it's beating me up. this last bunch of repairs, you know, when that purge valve blew and I had to fight with that purge valve for 4 hours to get it fixed, man, it damn near broke me, you know. I was about to throw in the towel and say, man, I just ain't cut out for this. I can't do it no more. But I'm too damn stubborn to quit. I've got goals that I've got to reach, and I've got to get there. So before you jump on the bandwagon, I want you to understand a couple of things, okay? First is that if you buy a new truck or a relatively new truck, anything, you know, after 2008, you ain't never going to own it. And if you do own it, the first breakdown for DEF is going to put you out of business. So go out and buy an older truck, okay? My truck makes the exact same amount of money their trucks make. Only I paid less for mine. Even with all the repairs I've put into it, I paid less for mine. Second thing I want to tell you is that freight is down right now. The price for freight is not good right now. It'll rebound, but they say this has been the worst year since 2008 for freight. And what's that mean? That means that you're starting from scratch with a truck that you're going to have to do a lot of repairs on, that somewhere down the line is going to break down on you, and you're not getting paid shit for freight. You know, I mean, I've been lucky. I've been really, really lucky because I've got a great company. I've got a great support network through my company. I've got a good family. I've been really lucky that I've been able to keep my head above water. My rates have been good. I mean, last time I was out, I had one that was $2.05 a mile, one that was $2.38 a mile, one that was $2.68 a mile. I think one was $2.44 a mile. And the last one, I think, was $1.95 a mile. But that included a pretty long deadhead, and I had to get to the house. So that one was taking me home, and you know, and I took a loss where I could have kept running around in the mid $2 range if I'd have stayed out, but I had to get home. So, you know, I took a bit of a loss on that one. And then this load here coming out of Texas to get me out of here, it was the worst paying load I've had in a long time. You know, it was a $1.28 load, $1.28 per mile. But and that was a bad load, really a bad load. But it puts me back in the freight lane where I was making all that money the last time, and hopefully things will go good from here, at least for the next couple of weeks while I'm out here before I have to go back in again. But it's rough, man. I'm telling you, it's rough. If you are going to take the step, make sure you get with a company that is going to be a support network that you can count on, like mine. I have a great company. It's the best company in the world, you know, as far as I'm concerned. And, you know, I've got less than a minute left before I got to cut this off. So I just want to say that if you do decide to come to Triple C, put me down as your referral. I get a little bit of a bonus, you know, if you'll put me down as your referral, and I certainly do appreciate it. All right. I got a lot more I want to say. I got to cut it short, you know, but I got a lot more that I want to say. I'll do another video here before long. I'm going to try to get this one uploaded here pretty soon. Y'all take care, and peace out, man. Love y'all.